I'm Scott from Radio Shop. What we're going to do today is show you how to program a Motorola radio. The first thing you need to do is connect your radio using a proper cable. Make sure your radio is powered on, at least got half a charge on it. Once it's connected, you'll hear it connect. To read the radio, go up to the read button on Motorola CPS 2.0. What it's doing now, it's reading the radio. The radio we have is a Motorola R2 radio, which is the replacement for the DP1400, which a lot of you will be using. It's the same principles for the channels. If you're unsure of what radio you have, go to reports, go to customer handout. You'll then see what radio we're using today. It'll also tell you what the button features are as standard, and it'll give you a nice channel summary after we're done, which you can print and save. So we're going to create the channels. What we're going to do is go down to zone, open zones up. Yeah, what the radio has as standard is it has 2 channels. What we're going to do is we're going to make a template for a digital channel, then we'll add an analog channel on it as well. So select the channel we're going to make the template on, which is number 1. We can actually get rid of number 2. Number 1, go to edit. You can either edit it this way or you can go back to the screen before. I'll show you quickly. And you can edit it by going along the columns, which I'll be honest with you, it takes ages and it's just not readable. It's alright when you're comparing, but when you're just trying to do one channel at a time, it's not good. So we're going to go to edit. If you want to go to the TX and RX or the RX TX, just hit the button at the top. If you want to do general settings. Key ones for setting up a radio are the channel name, the colour code, the time slot, the frequencies, and then there's a few other settings which are the power level, which you check. Obviously make sure everything matches your Ofcom license if you're in the UK, your admit criteria and your in-call criteria. So I'll basically make a template quick. We're going to call it channel 1, keep it simple. Colour code leave on 1, repeater time slot leave on 1. Radios use Motorola digital radios use TDMA, which means you get 2 time slots for every frequency. So in theory, you can have one client on time slot 1 and one client on time slot 2. So to start with, what we need is the frequency. So we're going to use, this is going to be the template. So we'll start off with 405. Instead of entering it over here, just hit the copy button. It'll then move the frequency across. Now, important thing you need is group lists and contact name. What we do is we go down to the contacts, we create the contacts and make it simple. We're going to do a group call. So we're just going to name it as group 1. Yeah. Keep it simple. Group's going to be 100, 200, 300. Do another one for the next channel. 2 seconds. Add another channel. Digital group call. Group 2, 200, yeah, go back again, another channel, digital group call, group 3, 300. What happens is the group call basically separates the channel, so you can be on the same frequency, and if you're on different groups, you won't hear each other, which is a good little feature. It enables you to have more use of the frequency, opposed to if it's analog where you can only change the PL tones, and if you're near each other, it will still interfere. With digital, it's not going to stop you. If you're not on group 1 and have the ID for group 1, you won't hear that conversation unless you're using a scanner. Last one we'll do, group 4. Digital group call 400. So we create the 4 groups. Now what we're going to do is create a receive group. What a receive group does is, if we look at this one, it enables that person. So if you're on list 1, only group 1 can hear in. You can add users, you can remove users. What we're going to do is we're going to create 4. We're going to create 4 groups, 1 for each channel. List 2, a new one, Go back again, hit plus again, a new one. That's 4 groups we've got. So list 1 has group 1, list 2 is going to have group 2, list 3 is going to have group 3, list 4 is going to have group 4. Just check that's right. And then when it comes to making the channel, it'll make it a lot, it'll make it a lot easier. So we have the channel. What we're going to do is go back to the channel. So we've got channel 1, we've got color code 1, we've got repeater slot 1. We have 405, that's what the frequencies are going to be. We've got the timeout timer. This is how long the radio is going to actually transmit before it stops. So if you accidentally sit on the press, it'll transmit for 60 seconds and then it'll automatically disable. Next one we have is admit criteria, which we always set to always. We also have in-call criteria, which is always. If you don't have it set to these, what happens is, if that channel is not free because it's picking up the frequency, someone else is using it, you know, within range, it won't allow you to transmit. At the end of the day, you want to be able to use this radio and you want to be able to transmit, so always leave them on always. Best way of doing it. So this one, group 1, contact name's group 1, so when it transmits it'll come up saying group 1, and group list is receive group 1, which means it'll receive group 1. Now what we're going to do is go back to zone. We're going to select this channel. We're now going to come to here. We're going to make add copies of this channel. We want 4 channels in total, but you could choose as many channels as you want, depending on your radio. So we'll do 3 extra channels. 3 extra channels. There you go. Now what we can do is we can scroll down here, and we can change the groups to different groups. So that's going to be group 2, group 3, group 4. Where are you? Oh, here we are. Contact name, group 2, group 3, group 4. So this is basically created 4 channels which are all using the same frequency. If you scroll down, you can see it. So we've got 4 channels which are using the same transmit and receive frequency. They've all got the same settings apart from them on different groups, receive groups and contact name. What that basically means is these 4 channels will work independently of each other and not talk to each other, even though they're using the same frequency. If you wanted to create more channels, you could copy it again. You could put them all in time slot 2 and use the same frequency again. Or what you could actually do is do another 4 channels with different frequencies on, pending your Ofcom license or your license whichever country you're looking at. If you want to create an analog channel, just hit the plus sign, go to analog. You can do exactly the same for analog as well if you wanted. So we go to edit. We're now going to look at the settings. A lot of the settings are similar. Channel bandwidth, that will obviously match your Ofcom. Normally it's 12.5 or it's 25. Channel name's channel 5 because it'll just automatically add it. What we've got down here is your squelch. Your squelch is like your receive groups, but it's with analog. So your radio will stay silent until it picks up that squelch type. Once it does, it'll lift the squelch and then you'll be able to hear. The idea is it gets rid of the white noise in the background. You can select whatever version you want to select. A lot of people use DPL or they use TPL tones. Yeah, if you use TPL tones, you can then select which one you want. If you notice here, the codes actually match. Wait 2 seconds. If I go down the TPL codes, you'll see it change the hertz. All it's really doing is it's changing the hertz right at the end of the frequency. So that's why if the radios are close to each other, the sheer power of the frequency and the receiver will still pick up the other PL tones. This only really works when there's a bit of distance between the radios. So you create your receive side of the channel. Once you're happy with that, you hit copy. It then goes to that side. You can then obviously make sure your admit criteria are the same. Again, it's always. You can change it to other ones, but the same goes again. If this radio detects any interference, which it can do depending on the radio, depends on the range, you might never be able to transmit on your radio, or you're going to have to wait to transmit. At the end of the day, you want to use this for emergencies or talking to people when you need to. And if people end up talking it over each other, that's when you just, have a training session on how to actually use the radio. So all we're going to do here is put it on always. Yeah, that means when we've got the radio, we can transmit all the time, regardless of whoever's using it. That's the setting for that. We can go back now to zone 1. We can take this, we can select the radio, we can do multiple copies again. Let's have another 2 channels. Yeah, we go into the options. We'll do it this way this time. Select a different PL tone. Hit copy. Yeah, PL tone's the same. Yeah. Go to the last one. Select another one. Copy again. Yeah, it's the transmit's the same as the receive. So there we have it. We have 7 channels. 4 of them are digital, 3 of them are analog. The position is the number on the knob at the top of the radio if it doesn't have a display. So if you're on channel 4, it'll be channel 4. If you wanted, you can shuffle them up and down. You can adjust the actual position on the radios that way. Once you're happy with your code plug, all you have to do is write back to the radio if the serial numbers match. So we've read this from the radio. In order to put this back to this radio, this serial number matches the radio, so we have to hit the right button. Yeah. If we want to clone the radio to another radio, we just connect another radio, then we then hit the clone button. Yeah. Clone Express basically gets rid of the IDs. The last one I didn't mention is we'll talk about IDs really quickly. IDs, the radios basically have, if you've got 10 radios and I'm issuing 10 radios out, I'll give each one a different ID. That way you can go to private calls later on and stuff like that. It's just good practice. If all the radios have the same ID, which works when they're non-display, if you start adding them to repeater networks and stuff like that, you just start to get issues and conflicts. So the best practice is 10 radios, radio 1's 1, radio 2's 2, radio 3's 3. If you want to add it to your contacts, just go here, and what you can do is add, I'll do it now, add a digital, add a private call, hit OK. I'm now going to call this Radio Shop. Yeah, we're going to be on call 1. So now if I go to the general settings, if I program the radio as radio 1 and I transmit to the other radios, the ID Radio Shop will display on the screen when I talk to them. Same goes if I add one for number 2, one number 3, number 4. And that's how you add your usernames on it. You don't have to add your user to the channel. You just keep that as the groups. But then this enables you to come up with your username. And what it also enables you to do is it enables you to have private calls. So you can go through the address book. If there's an address book on a displayed radio, you can select Radio Shop, hit the press to talk, and then you have a private conversation between them. So I hope that helps. Any questions or dramas, please let me know. If you want to save the code plug, come up to the top, hit File, Save As. You can then name the file. So we've created all the channels now, and if we wanted to save the channels, go to Reports. As in if we wanted a report of it, now you can go to the reports. It'll tell you all the channels we have on the radio, all the frequency settings I've set up. Yeah. We can go to Customer Handout. It'll then tell them exactly how many channels are on the radio. And then if they've got a channel name, it'll tell you what the actual channel names are for each channel. So sometimes we name them after departments. So channel 1 could be reception if it was a school, for example. Give that handout to the customer. The customer then knows what the buttons do. Hope this helps. Please subscribe to support the channel. Any questions or comments, please put them below, and I'll put a link on the below for any radio accessories you're after and a discount code.